Alright guys, welcome in. Could not get the screen to change, but it looks like it's working now. Welcome in Thursday night. No news that is good tonight. It's all bad news everywhere. Down in Australia is just getting all kinds of bad things are happening, which we'll get into here in a little bit. Just kind of checking out the aerosols that are being deployed in the fire zones. It's creating its own weather. Anyway, let's jump into the headlines so I can get a lot of these things closed up. We got hundreds of Air Force Academy cadets sickened in a norovirus outbreak. This is coming out of Colorado. 400 of the Air Force people here, the Academy guys, are sick right now. Then we have all schools in the Colorado district are closed. 46 schools in western Colorado have been closed to clean the house. So Colorado Public Radio reports 6 of the schools in Mesa County have closed as of Wednesday afternoon. Before the district-wide shutdown was announced, all schools also will be closed Friday, heading into the Thanksgiving break, which lasts the entire week. Hopefully they can get this stopped. But that's not the only ones. Something even worse going on in Venezuela, yellow fever. Now, this just come out today. So some of the people that have this yellow fever, some of their symptoms, I mean, it just sounds horrible. So they got dehydration, bleeding of the gums, jaundice, traluria, I don't even know what that is, abdominal pain, hepatemiology. He's also facing chronic renal failure, moderate anemia. I mean, there's a bunch of people getting sick down here with this yellow fever. So, you know, they're dispersing tons of vaccines. In fact, I think I read somewhere on here, yeah, they funded and secured a donation of 571,000 doses of the yellow fever vaccine. How did they have that many vaccines already set up, ready to go? You have to wonder. So they had the vaccine already before this stuff happened. That should tell you something right there. Then out in Seattle, check this out. Let's just play a clip of this.
Our work related to the Aspergillus outbreak at Seattle Children's. Aspergillus is a microscopic fungus that is found everywhere in our environment, including in the air we breathe. It is not a problem for healthy people or for most hospitalized patients. However, some patients with severely weakened immune system and those undergoing certain surgical procedures can be at increased risk. In Washington State, healthcare facilities are required to report individual cases of...
I'm not going to play the whole thing, but yeah, so, you know, they try to normalize this mold. Hey, this mold's everywhere. It just, you know, it's normal. It won't hurt you if you're healthy. Well, nobody's healthy. Everybody's already sick. We know where this stuff is coming from. Nearly 100,000 pounds of salad items recalled because of possible E. coli contamination. We're seeing this every day. You know, the USDA, the Department of Agriculture, the same people that do the aerosol campaigns, the same people that run the weather modification programs are ruining the foods. Thanks out there, Teresa. So the Mesa Bay salad products that contain meat or poultry produced between October 14th and October 16th are the affected items. Excuse me there. All these products were shipped all over the place. Alabama, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Virginia, Wisconsin. Did I leave anybody out? This is why you need to grow your own food, even if you're growing it in your own windows. Like, you can't trust any of this stuff. Vigilance advised after saxitoxin found in clams. So we have toxic algae in the clams. Guess where? The Bering Strait. Right where they're doing the bunker fuel operations, right where they're creating the man-made cloud deck, the cloud brightening, the cloud whitening. You know, they say it's to battle global warming. Anytime you put a blanket on something, it's going to trap the heat in. You know, it may cool it down in the day, but at night it keeps the heat in. It's all a lie. So you got a deadly virus spreads among the marine mammals as the Arctic ice melts. I still haven't found where the Arctic ice is melting. Thanks, Sarah Teresa. Millions of acres of canola freeze on Canada's prairies, compounding the harvest from hell. Heavy snow rain during the harvest on the Canadian prairies have left several million acres of canola buried until spring. The latest blow in a miserable year that may compound farmer problems into 2020. I mean, we're telling you now, man, the food prices are going to skyrocket next year. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if they, pull something crazy off because of the food crisis that's going to be happening. Now, this is some freaky stuff here. Modern, hyper-realistic masks can be so convincing that people often can't distinguish them from any real face. Now, there's some apps that actually do the same thing. These are actually real masks. Things, not sure what they cost. I don't even know what kind of funds that is. In the UK, 240 people in Japan and the UK looked at pairs of photos to try to spot which face showed a mask. They were all fooled in the fifth of the cases. But pretty freaky stuff, man. That's why I say we don't even know if some of these people in office are clones or they have masks on. I mean, there's no telling anymore. Over in Japan, you got the AI newscasters. You can hardly tell that they're AI. It's just crazy stuff going on. And if you didn't know, thanks out there, Ricky. If you didn't know, Android phones were hacked. Hundreds of millions of cameras, GPS, and microphones affected. This coming out of the American military news. Google and Samsung on Tuesdays disclosed several security vulnerabilities to their phones, allowing attackers to bypass a phone's user security protections. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. They want to make everything through Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, 5G, millimeter waves. All that can be hacked. How about the hard line? How about the old phones where they bury the cable? They don't get hit by lightning. The wind don't start the fires. It's going to be definitely Skynet. Now, this is just crazy news coming out of Russia. 2 men were boiled alive after falling into a sinkhole. So they fell into the sinkhole, and it's like scalding hot water from the pipes that they use to keep the buildings warm in the winter. This is one time when you need the global warming, and then you wouldn't be running these super hot water lines underneath the street. So they have not named these guys. Tributes have already been rushing in as the news was broken. Horrific images taken shortly after the incident show the men's bodies being lifted from the water by a crane. Horrible stuff. The water was 75 Celsius and believed to have come from a hot water pipe that burst underneath the car park and caused the sinkhole to open. So that is a horrendous way to go right there. Look, the car is still smoking as they pulled it out. This is, days of Noah stuff that's going on. Now we're going to get down into the Australia fires, the weather. So the Bureau of Meteorology paints a horrible picture of upcoming summer. See, how do they know that they're going to be in a hot summer? How do they know that? Well, it's planned. So they're saying, get the fans ready. Australia is in for a grim summer of scorching temperatures and little rain. Forecasters are warning. Australia is starting down the barrel of a horrific summer season that will drag scorching temperatures, extreme conditions well into the new year. Such extreme condition in the 20 years he's worked with the Bureau, comparing the long-term seasonal outlook to a bad chest x-ray. It's a horrible map. Look at it. This is manufactured drought. This is, so China can come in here and buy up the whole thing. China is the new world order. Check out the bushfire right here. Not one fireman has a hose in his hand putting the fire out. They're all standing around. Where's the hoses? They're not even trying to put the fires out. Not to mention that they cut 75% of the volunteer firefighters before any of these fires even started. They defunded tons of the firemen. They want this to burn. This is all on purpose. Let's see, there's something else I was looking for. I don't know if it was this article. Oh, he'll definitely intervene. Australia fires emergency bushfire warnings in north-southwestern Victoria amid severe heat as it happened. One thing about all these fires that are going on, none of them are burning the, the head honchos areas, the rich neighborhoods. Not one of them. All the premiers or whatever they call them down here. Their areas are fine, but the common people's place are not. So they're saying in Victoria there's at least 60 blazes still burning. The exact number is not known. Few new fires have been sparked by lightning strikes. They got now we got fires going back on in Tasmania. So it's just like hell down here, and it's not getting any better. Oh man, I lost the one article I wanted. Is this it? No. Well, they're saying that there's the thunderstorm asthma is going on. We've had that happen a couple years in a row over in the Carolinas, and I'm not seeing where I was reading on that. But yeah, man, there's a thunderstorm asthma. Now that stuff can kill you. It's killed several people in North Carolina back in 2017. I mean, it's so toxic down here. We'll get into the maps. Pray for the people down there. And if you didn't know, last year, back in July last year, PG&E added 50 new weather stations to advance forecasting abilities, better predict extreme weather and wildfire potential. So not only does PG&E do weather modification, not only do they have microwave weapons up in space, they also have their own weather service. I guess they don't even trust the Weather Channel. Who's running all these weather stations? Probably the weather controllers. So, here they are coming out with how climate change could be affecting the jet stream. How about the ionospheric heaters? Let's see what they're saying here. When prolonged periods of severe weather strike, two things often get the blame these days. Climate change that for climate control, and the jet stream. Many have expressed concerns that the rapidly melting Arctic is now disturbing the jet stream, bringing more frequent bouts of wild weather, but potentially more powerful changes are afoot in the tropics. The northern hemisphere's jet stream is a current of fast-moving air encircling the globe from west to east in the middle latitudes. Blah, blah, blah. As a result, the jet can have a wide array of impacts across the hemisphere. Why are they not talking about the ionospheric heating? Why are they not talking about the space-based weapons, the weather weapons? They're not talking about Skynet. They're not talking about space weather. They're not talking about anything. This is all just propaganda lies. We know the droughts are manufactured. We know they can steer the jet streams. We know why the Arctic is melting. It's because they're melting it. They've been trying to melt it for 100 years. So how are they doing it? They're dumping the bunker fuels, creating a man-made cloud, trapping the heat in, melting the poles. All documented. So in Guatemala, the Indonesia Krakatoa volcano, man, let's see if I can get this to play. It may not play. Try to reload it. Pretty crazy lightning coming out. You know, everything's more, there's so much more lightning because of all the heavy metals up in the sky. I mean, they're making it more electrified. And then you add in the electromagnetic smog, and wham, you got lightning everywhere. "18 days left to the YouTube purge." Is it gonna go, man? I don't know what's wrong with this. Fox News is sucking. Why everybody's talking about these stupid, whatever it is, all these crazy people in office. You know, they ran the Patriot Act back through, so more surveillance, more liberty is going to be taken away. So, man, it's not going to play. What the heck? Screw Fox News now. Can't even play. So this happened. Why is it so big? So Elon Musk SpaceX Starship prototype blows its top during a cryogenic pressure test in Texas. Wonder what kind of stuff this thing was spewing out. Let's play it and see. Wow, was there an earthquake going? I mean, look at this camera shaking. Look at all that toxic crap coming out. It's only a test. Don't mind this cloud blowing through Texas. Wonder if we can spot this on the radar. So anyway, this was some kind of a test. I guess they weren't going to purposely blow it up, but it blew up and it wasn't no big deal to them as a pressure test. They're going to move to the MK3 design, the MK Ultra 3 design. So this happened in Boca Chica, Texas. All right. I didn't even scroll down this far. Man, why is everything so big, man? So these are just more surveillance, more weather modification stuff. Let's go ahead and jump into the maps. All right, okay, I'm on the worldview map. So here's the smoke coming off the fires down here in Australia. And guess what? They're gridding the sky. These are not fire retardant. You know, all the fire retardant that they're putting down, if they're putting it down, is going to poison the water aquifers. It's going to ruin the land. Look at all the microwave clouds. If you can see them, they're not real clear. I mean, this is just one toxic sky. We can see this. The winds have changed direction yet again. They're blowing south like they're going to blow right into Sydney. Let me see if I can go up. They're ahead of us, so We just see if this will load up actually today's. So this will be the most recent picture. Whoa. So that really changed from one day to the next. Let me back out a little bit. See how much of this is loaded. So we can see that there's mass aerosols being deployed in the fire zones. Look at all these fires. I mean, we're looking at like 30, 40 fires right there. Let's check the layer on this fire. No, I haven't had Dane on this show, but I have talked to him on the phone. I may get him on here sometime. We're always busy, so it's hard to connect. So this stuff, these fires are creating weather. You know, whenever you see these different color smokes, you got to wonder what's going on. You know, is it a house going up? Bunch of tires? You know, something is burning that's not good. And then let me, that's all that's loaded for today. Let me go back just so we can check everything else out. So we got fires all throughout Australia. And we got some weird stuff going on. And let me see if it'll come up on the RAM slider here. I'm going to have to back out. Now I'm seeing some crazy things going on with the clouds down here. Let me back this out. Then we'll try to zoom in. So over here, if this will start loading, there's like a straight line right here where it cuts the clouds off. So that's just weird in itself. But once these, I think we got bunker fuel right there. Might even have a hole punch cloud right there. But anyway, let me back this out. Let this load up. Aerosols in the south. But we got strange stuff going on right here with the clouds. So hopefully this will load. Let me quit messing with it so it will load. And hopefully it will load. So while I'm waiting on that, I was checking for hot spots here in the United States. We got our scheduled rain today here in Missouri, every Wednesday. It looks like you got water vapor generators going off there in Texas. Let me do this by hand so I can see what's going on here. These clouds aren't moving. They're like on the ground, like some cloud inversion all over Oklahoma. Haven't seen the sun in a few days. You know, since when do the storms pop up over here in California and go across? That's like so rare, and the meteorologists act like it's nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. We just got a weird low pressure spinning out here over Las Vegas, centered right over the military installation. Just spinning. Completely normal. But it's not. Alright, is this thing going to play for us here? I can see 3 aircraft leaving lines. But this weird line right here, and you're going to notice there's something definitely going on right here. If I can get this to load, well, I want to load here. Let me cut down the frame. Oh, no, now it's going to load maybe. Is it raining? Might be raining again. I know the Weather Channel, they're all little geeky guys wearing the tight shirts and the tennis shoes with the dress pants. Like we're really supposed to believe them. caught them faking the winds, faking floods. They're just fakes. They're actors. Alright, why isn't this thing going here? I'm going to try cutting down the frames. See if that'll help get this to load a little easier. Because, yeah, right in here, I mean, it's really, really strange. So I want to document this. Look at this. It's just a straight line. Cuts off the clouds. This isn't a stitching error. You also have aerosols being deployed right here. Bunker fuel down here. And just, I can't believe this thing won't load. They do this every time. It was working fine. It was all preloaded. I may have to start trying to download the GIF files, but it's so hard. It messes up every time. So it looks like they are, when I look at this, I see clouds, lower level clouds being sucked into this section right here, while everything else is spinning and going the other way. But these straight lines, these long straight lines, there's something causing this cutoff. It's not a jet stream, it's blowing up. It's going the opposite way of the winds. This looks like some kind of manipulation. Something is centered right here, and if I remember right, there is an ionospheric heater right here, or some kind of antenna array. I know there is down off this little peninsula, but I think there's also one here. Back in the 90s, there was a show where all the radars were doing some crazy things down here when they were getting the crazy weather. And it was from the Miles research when they were doing their test. They never, you know, discussed what it really was, but that's what it was. Big aerosol. So definitely some weird stuff going on in Australia. Hopefully I'll try to download these files. What do we got? Do we have a typhoon over there? I didn't even notice that. Let me get this. Let's look at the hemisphere to see if there's anything going on from the solar wind and stuff coming in. Oh yeah, look, we're getting the plasma lightning down here in the southern hemisphere. I'd really like to add on a few more frames and hopefully it'll stay loaded. This is the only satellite imagery you can get of the Antarctica that's, you know, pretty clear. We can see the purples, that's the plasma. Then you got the what I call the plasma lightning. And then the greens, kind of the auroras or the nocculus clouds. So we're definitely getting just some crazy solar activity down here. So this is going to create a compression event on the wind patterns. Oh wow, I'm in the this is up in the north. I thought I was in the south. So wow, look at that. So we got some aerosols being deployed over the Bering Sea, right where the or the North Sea, whatever they call that up there. Let's go to the southern hemisphere and see what's going on in Antarctica. We'll have to check the Earth null and see if there's any atmospheric heating going on in the stratosphere. So yeah, look at the, now down here the things are way farther out. This will be this is the cleanest footage you can get from down here. You know, and they probably censor some of it out, but it's pretty real time, pretty near real time. So I'm sure they have a team of people censoring out the data. Look, there's a chemtrail down here in Antarctica drifting out. Look at the color of it. We have chemtrails in the Antarctic. All right, let's go ahead and we can jump out of this. Before we go, though, I want to see what's going on with the weather generators. You know, you got the United Arab Emirates over here. They have their weather generators online. And we got some freaky stuff going on over India, over Iran. In fact, well, let me close that up. Let's use the worldview here. So it does look like we have a cyclone up here headed for Taiwan. Hold on, let's take a look. Let me look at something real quick. We have, for the load here, Tropical Storm Feng Wong. And then we got Tropical Storm Sebastian out here in the Atlantic. I want to check the mimic just while we're here. And then I'm just going to look at this real quick. You guys probably won't be able to see this. I just want to check it real fast, see if it's going to turn into anything. My internet is not going very fast right now. Hey, thanks there, T-Bird. Alright, so that's not going to turn into a cyclone or nothing. Let me see this Sebastian one. Yeah, that's not going to do anything. Alright. Just want to check the mimic map, see if we see any kind of funky things going on. I wanted to look especially down here in Australia where we've seen the weird straight line. The clouds are being pulled opposite ways. Look, they're blocking the atmospheric river from coming into California. California is going to start getting soaked around the 1st. December 1st through 3rd. That's when the big stuff is coming in. There's our other mesocyclone out here. All right, that's documented. Let's go ahead and get out of that. Get that going. All right, let's get back into the worldview map. Wow, what kind of smog do we got going on over here in China? Man, that's aerosols. Look at the color of that stuff. Whoa, that looks bad. Let me see if it's just the satellite photo funky, or is that the color? No, that's the color, man. What in the world? So it doesn't look like you'd like to be in the Republic of China right now. They got some weird air going on. And then here's where our weather generators are turned on. We know this is a weather modification program all over the desert, all over Oman, Yemen, Iran, Afghanistan. This is all coming from the weather generator. If you're new here, let me take you there. So they've been enhancing the clouds since 1995. They say they can enhance the rain, cleaning the air pollution, destroying sandstorms and fog. But if you go back 2 days ago, Project Green Desert in the Middle East, they're talking about they need to install some more weather generators over by Dakar. So back on the 11th of November, rains will be switched in the weather generator to rain enhancement mode. They destroyed 2 cyclones. They come right out and say that they use weather generators for the weather. The Dubai generator was forcibly shut off. We promised to destroy the cyclone Kayar, and we destroyed it on the 10th, 10/30/2019. Generator was forcibly shut off because of maintenance reasons after extensive work. So they must have overworked the weather generator, but now it's back online. Now they are guiding the rain over the Middle East. They have a YouTube channel where they document their weather modification programs. This is all man-made, all steered by man, not by an act of nature. The UK's, remember the aerosols that were deployed here lately? Now they're just getting hammered. In fact, we could go look at, the amounts of rain that they're getting right now. Got fake clouds in Libya. Yeah, so they want to put another weather generator up over here where we always see the weather experiments going on. Like, what is this thing? That's not a natural cloud scenario. That's something else. Look at the color of it. Probably another weather experiment, or it's their weather generator sucking something in. Look at all the fires. Look at all the fires down here that you'll never hear about on the mainstream. Maybe if you live down here, but look, you can even see the smoke. These are probably mainly controlled burns, but man, there's a lot of fires, a lot of cloud seeding. Look at that big thick liner. So you got a spraying operation south of Tallahassee, all over Florida's east coast. So you got a big time spraying operation on the east coast of Florida, out in the Gulf of Mexico, all ahead of the storm. Louisiana's getting waxed. Mississippi, Alabama, the Carolinas is getting hammered. Going right up into Virginia. Virginia Beach, waxed. So they're going to be spraying out ahead of this whole system. So Maine, Boston, if you don't have aerosols right now, you'll have them through the night into the morning. And they're starting the new spraying operation right now down in Mexico, all the way out in the Pacific. They're going to try to pull this moisture up. And we got like a smoke curtain going across Wyoming right into South Dakota. Let me see if I can get that to pull out a little better. Yeah, they were going to nuke the North Pole, and they stopped it at the last minute. They had like 45 nukes set up or something like that. I have to look back at the history of that. Man, that's just a giant spray. Let's go see if we're seeing any kind of smoke from the fires. I mean, if there is, there's a little bit right there. Nothing, no major fires right now. Here's one, looks like it's actually blossoming up. Let's click that layer. So that fire, pretty, it wasn't very big, and then it kind of picked up a little bit. So that's pretty recent. So there was no fires out here whatsoever in the morning. We go to the afternoon, it's kind of drifting off. Then we get later into the night, and it's starting to pick up a little bit. It looks like the air quality all over Sacramento, San Francisco is horrible right now. So either we have weather being created by these fires or something. They don't look like normal cloud, you know, from the fires. They don't look like normal smoke. They look like clouds, like they're creating their own weather. So right now they don't look like huge fires, but you know, that'll change. If they want it to burn, they're going to burn it. Again, no fires earlier this morning. These all have popped up here recently. We got big time aerosols being deployed out here off the coast of Oregon up to Washington. See, they're setting they're setting up for the next system. Here they are pulling the rivers of the sky up. So you have two rivers right here getting ready to merge. Look at that. They're pulling the clouds straight for thousands of miles. There's no bunker fuel operations. They ceased all the bunker fuel operations a couple days ago. And now it's just waves of weather coming in. Let's go ahead and check. Yeah, it could be volcanic for sure. So here we are. Let's just take a quick look and see if our forecast for California getting rain is still on for around the 1st. Man, they got something brewing. Oops. Down here. That's where they're, remember, this is where they're seeding right now. And they got some heavy duty rain coming. So let's get up to, starting on the 27th, here comes the rain. Here's what they're manufacturing for California. So they're going to burn everything they need to burn between now and the 27th. Then the rain's going to start coming in. Heavy snow for California. And look, it's going to be some pretty heavy rain. Even Southern California is going to get a pocket of some heavy rain. So that's coming in. So that they've actually bumped it up a few days. Let me just go ahead and go up to the 1st through 3rd. So it's like they bumped it all up. So they've moved it up a couple days. So yeah, so you know, we really need to watch between now and the 27th. This next week could be fire craziness. Let's look at the total accumulated precipitation amounts. All right, let's just scroll this up. You're going to see where the target zones are. Arkansas, the New Madrid fault line. Looks like it's still the target for heavy amounts of moisture. Now into the Tennessee Valley, through the Carolinas. And then Washington, Oregon is going to get hammered. And then look, here comes the atmospheric river. Exactly where the Paradise Fires. This is exactly what it looked like when they put the Paradise Fires out. When they washed away the evidence. That's the exact signature. In fact, I could probably go back to my videos and that's what it looked like. So I'm just going to go ahead and go all the way up. This will be the next 2 weeks worth of moisture. So yeah, the mountains are going to get, you know, quite a bit of moisture. Looks like the target is the New Madrid fault line for the most moisture here. Now what I wanted to look at, since we're here, get this back on. Oh, I guess I could have left it on that. And then I want to go look over in the UK, and then we'll look at Australia's weather. Let's just kind of go over some of these maps and see what these aerosols are doing. So let's just click Europe here. This will give us an idea of the target zones. Wow, they're going to flood them out big time. Wow. So this is millimeters of precipitation. And there's some parts here that are 300 to 400 millimeters of precipitation. You know, you're looking at 80 to 100 over the whole UK, Iceland, Ireland. But yeah, there's a big zone of some heavy rain. Even they're going to be pulling that moisture up from the Mediterranean. Now I want to go look at Australia and see if it's going to show any moisture. So look, there should be moisture here exactly where the fires are. So I guess apparently when they get done burning this place, they're going to put the fires out. Tasmanians, they're going to put them fires out. Now we need to go look where the weather generator is running. So see, the forecast models are not even, if I'm looking at this right, yeah, here's where the weather generators are. They're showing mostly rain for Iran, so it's going to be pretty crazy to see what they do. How can they change, you know, how much will they change the forecast models? So these are the GFS models. So I'm glad I documented this. Now we'll come back in a couple days and see just how the weather generators affected this storm. Pretty crazy stuff. When you know they're affecting the weather and you can document what they're doing, man, that just makes it easier on us. So let's take a look at the aerosols that are being deployed. You can definitely see them over Florida, Gulf of Mexico, and the big time spraying. We'll go over to the west in a second here. Just want to document some of these bigger spraying operations. Nice crowd out there. Thanks for joining us tonight. Every night, thanks to the people out there that shared. Thanks to the people out here that help us out, keep this thing running. We're trying to finish trying to get a website going and all that stuff, just in case, you know, who knows what's going on with this YouTube stuff. You know, we stream with Restream. We're streaming to Facebook, my Facebook regular page, Facebook, the above ground page, streaming to Twitch, D Live, and then we're uploading to Brighton and BitChute. So, you know, we got some backups, and the new float. It's kind of like a Facebook without all the crap. So, that's pretty weird looking right there. Let's look at Florida, see how it picked it up. You know, you guys sharing is probably the biggest help of all, because we're getting past them blocking us. That's the only way we're growing, is from you guys, because otherwise, you know, they were just deleting thousands of people. Now we're gaining ground on them. We're beating the algorithm. Wow, that was like a military dump right there. Look at Florida getting bombarded. All man-made clouds right there. Watch when this starts off a big old dump right off the east coast of Florida. Should be coming up. Look at that. big old liner. Then a bunch of short liners. Then you got the big guns coming out, bombarding Florida, Georgia, Alabama. Let's go ahead. Probably need to go to regional so we can pick this up off the coast out here. Yeah, it'll be nice. I got one more month of, over 500 just for internet, but I'm getting ready to get rid of one of the internets. That's how they affect us. That's why we have this channel monetized, just to help try to get some back from the internet bills, man. It's ridiculous. So wow, look at how they are targeting this one area. That is insane. Yeah, I just don't have time for a whole, like a Patreon channel. This is the time I got, man. I can do, 1 hour video at night. That's all the free time that I have, man. I put what I can into this, and I just don't have time for all that. That's why, I'm hoping this keeps us going. So wow, that's just insane right there. Now, what I like looking for in this area is we've seen flumes coming up out of the ocean. Now, I'm not going to be able to get into this white paper, the earthquake and tsunami early warning white paper. Now, we're going to try to get into that tomorrow. But I'm always looking out here for flumes of smoke coming up out of the ocean. We've caught tons of them. Let's turn it on the natural fire color. Yeah, this is the only channel that I have monetized. I don't have the backup channel monetized. There's no ads on the Twitch that I know of. None on D Live, none on the Facebook. This is the only channel. This is the one channel that I try to make a little revenue back on to help with the internet stuff. So, if they take it away, oh well. I'll have the bill down anyway at the end of this month. So I'm not seeing any kind of hot spots popping off here. We'll let it go one more time, then we'll go south a little bit. Crazy spraying operation right there. They are really focused on this atmospheric river right here. Completely focused on that. Let's go south a little bit. Yeah, man, when they're really heavy spraying, like right now we got the solar activity that's coming in on us. So if your ears are ringing, if your bones are hurting a little worse, that could be from that. But also these aerosols, the bunker fuels, that messes you up too. Like my ears are ringing right now, like big time. So I am not seeing any kind of hot spots popping up, but man, I'm really watching the way they're spraying that atmospheric river. Is crazy. Segmented sprays. Right there, just like stitches. All right, so we got something on that volcano right there. A little poof or something. Maybe that's just the snow. Yeah, I'm not seeing any hot spots at all. All right, let's pull this way out. Let's just go way out. What the heck is that? Actually, I want the west. And I want to just see if there's any kind of bunker fuel operations. I think they just turned them all off. Just one day, they just cranked them off. All right, let me put this on the microphysics and hit play. See if there's any kind of funny business going on out here in the ocean. I mean, it's unbelievable how they pull these bunker fuel operations off for, you know, sometimes they're only like 3 days, man. Some of these sessions that they were doing were weeks long. Yeah, I'm not seeing any bunker fuel being deployed at all. Nowhere. They just turned them off. So they're either reloading or they're done. Now the only thing we need to check now is the earth null, and then we'll be through all this stuff, all documented. First thing I want to look at right off the bat is the polar vortex winds. So it's looking pretty normal. We got the little trough there and there. Let's look down south. There shouldn't be any down here. So see, I've been telling you this pretty much. This is all it's going to be all winter. Like there really shouldn't even be these little higher wind amounts. But let's check the temperature, and they are still heating the Arctic. The grayer temperatures mean they're heating. And we're not seeing any kind of heating event up in the north. And then let's just look at the auroras. So yeah, we got some pretty good auroras going on right now. Look at that. Hey, thanks there, Enchanted Journey. So we definitely got some auroras. Let's check the jet stream winds. What are they doing out here? Look, they blew the jet stream apart. So right where the heavy aerosols are is right where the trough of the jet stream is. Now let's check the moisture. Nope, that's the pressures. Total precipitable water. Let me take the winds off for a minute. Okay. So right here, there's a dry line. That's where they're spraying. Right in the dry line. Interesting. See, these are the kind of things that we need to document and watch. All the low pressures way up here over Alaska. High pressure over the United States. High pressure out here. Hey, thanks there, Victory. Okay, so we got that documented. Let's see if there's any kind of waves. Yeah, we got some waves there. Up to the Aleutian Island chain around Alaska, 34-foot waves. Got a big wave machine down here, 36-foot. Let's check the sea surface temperatures. I'm not seeing, we got one little hot spot. What I like to do with these is compare it to the El Nino year. So let's go back to 2016. That was our last El Nino. It's actually kind of a hotter spot, but a smaller area. And now let's look at the heat anomalies out here. Now we knew this would be out here. The blob's still out here. So they're really heating here off Alaska. It's died down up here. It was super heated up here through the whole Bering Sea, right where they're putting the Underground Railroad in. No hot spots out here. So all of them have disappeared. Let's go back and see what it looked like last year. See, we had these hot spots down here by the volcanoes, the undersea volcanoes. Let's go back one more year. Let's go to 2017. Look how cool it was. And then we'll go back to 2016, maybe 2015 since we're in November. That's what it looked like in 2015. Now that's a heck of a heat anomaly. And when we look at that, and then we go to now, completely different. Alright, so here we are looking at the carbon monoxide concentrations. These are at the surface. These are where you're standing on the ground. Southern California's it's not as bad as it has been, but we got a new spot here in, that's either Northern California or off the coast of Oregon, and then all through the fracking zones, the volcanic zones, fires. We know we got fires over here, but look how toxic it is up off the East Coast. Tons of aerosols being deployed. That's a volcano right there. So here's a volcano. You know, something's burning down here in Mexico too. Let's look at India and China. You want to do something about climate change? Look at these guys. Look at what they had to breathe. They're in the black. They're at 3,234 parts per billion volume. That would kill you in like 10 minutes if you were in an enclosed room with that stuff. We'll see what this spot is over here. 1257 versus 3,000. So, India planted millions of trees and it's actually helped. But we're going to see this get worse probably as the winter goes. Here's our carbon dioxide concentration. Looking actually pretty good. Except for over here. What is going on over here? I don't think I've ever seen it this high. So this would be France, right where the heavy aerosols were deployed. That's, remember yesterday. We go back to yesterday. That was the most engineered spot on the planet. In fact, let's go look at it. So let me turn this back to yesterday. I couldn't believe how bad this aerosol campaign was over France. These are all plane trails. These are all mad chemtrails over here. And look what it did to the air quality. It's almost off the chart. We're at 456 parts per billion. So they got it really bad right there. We got a pretty good spot here in around Lake Michigan. So they really, all them aerosols, man, they just picked it up big time. And then here's our particulate matter. So definitely can see the fire zones and all that stuff. Man, pretty crazy stuff. All right. Insane spraying yesterday out here. I mean, that's just, look at that. The UK, France, all the way down to the Mediterranean Sea. I mean, this is like every plane in the whole world is spraying right here. This was yesterday. We go to today. It turned into a weather system. Hey, thanks, sir. Juanita. Barcelona's getting hammered right now. Now they're getting in on the aerosols. It's like, how do they get all these airplanes, so many of them in one area? Pretty nuts. So they've been spraying this area for a while. We got a black chemtrail in there. So smaller spraying operation, but it looks just as toxic is what happened in France, but a smaller scale. And we haven't checked over here in a while. They actually have some clouds. They might even be fake clouds. Let's let this load up good. What do we got here? We have aerosols being deployed over Giza. And then they're going to drift over. So we're going to have some engineered rain going into here. So not too many rains get over here, but it looks like they're going to get some rain. Engineered rain for everybody. You notice the aerosol campaign is way over here. You know, it started way over here. That's a smoke curtain. That's what I call a smoke curtain. Have you ever seen a smoke curtain? Wonder if I could load it up. I might be able to load it up. I probably won't be able to find it. I'll dig it up for tomorrow. I'll show you what a 1923 smoke curtain is. We got a dust storm coming off Saudi Arabia. So we do have a dust storm, and then we got aerosols being deployed. Look at the dust storm coming off Jeddah. Oh, that's where they want to put the other weather generator in. There's where Jeddah is. Look at that. This is where they're saying they need the other weather generator. Yep. I was thinking way over here. Now I know where Jeddah is. So you got all the weather generators over here in the United Arab Emirates. They want to put one right here. And this is why we're seeing all the weather modification. They're using the cloud seeding over here in the Red Sea. Crazy long dust storm. That's a long area. That's a big area coming out of Mecca, Jeddah. So wow. Kind of glad I went back and looked at that. All right, guys, we're going to call this a show. We're going to have to start filming the blue skies. If you get a blue sky, film it, send it to us. Nobody's going to know what blue skies look like. They're still not even deep, dark blue like when we were kids. Anyway, guys, we're going to play a song called Rise. I want to thank everybody for joining us. And keep sharing it out. We'll make a difference. We're making a difference. We're waking people up. Can we wake enough up in time? I don't know. But anyway, guys, much love out there. Let's jam out on some songs here. And I'll jump over on D Live. Give away the treasure chest over there. Then I'll jump back over here on the chat. Anyway, guys, much love. Crank it up. Let's rock. Let's rise. Armor up.